Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. 7 states are now on fire. More than 1 million acres are burned from wildfires burning out of control. In Sierra Vista, Arizona, they've been told to get out as the Monument Fire is creeping closer. Thousands in that area have already been ordered to evacuate. The Wallow Fire is the largest of several wildfires. It's now also affecting life for hundreds in Luna, New Mexico. Texas is another state grappling with massive fires. North of Houston, this fire is burning in the Davy Crockett National Forest. It has charred 2 counties so far. It has also closed the interstate between Houston and Dallas. The smoke so thick, drivers can't even see. The flames have consumed more than 15,000 acres in just a few days. Some say they're staying put till the danger is closer.
We ain't leaving until the fire's in the backyard for good. When we know it's going to hit the house, we'll leave. Till then, we stand.
Forecasters say the summer rains are still weeks away, and they aren't seeing much relief in the short term from the hot, windy weather. We're back on the flood watch, and things are getting worse on the Missouri River. This levee in northwest Missouri was no match for the swollen Missouri River. Here you can see water rushing over the barrier in Atchison County near the Nebraska and Iowa state lines. Didn't take long for the waters to submerge much of this community. The breach comes after the river rose 2 feet in just 24 hours. The people of an entire town have had to pack up and leave their homes due to flooding. Clark Young from our affiliate KPTM in Omaha takes us to Purcellville, Iowa, where the town's only highway is now underwater.
Well, this is history. We've got friends that live across the river and used to live across the river in Purcellville, and they've had to get rentals here in town. Their house is underwater now.
Nebraska City residents are now forced to walk across the only highway that connects their city to the town of Purcellville.
It's estimated there's 200 people that work on either side of the river that are going to be affected just from their jobs, and it just goes up from there, the people that are losing their crops and their houses out here.
And for the past few weeks, residents from Purcellville, Iowa have had to pack up and move out because the only highway leading into their town is now flooded.
The problem gets worse and worse when you think about the truck drivers and people traveling and the increased traffic on the other roads around here. It's going to take us an hour to circle around through Plattsmouth and come back down to go on the other side of the river.
We were over there a couple weeks ago helping move people out, and it's just sad. This their entire world.
For now, the hundreds of residents of Purcellville have had to move to the surrounding towns and can only watch as the water continues to inch closer to their homes. Clark Young reporting for INN News.
A threat in the skies over Nebraska as well. Take a look. Storm chasers captured this video of a funnel cloud near the town of Max last night. And all 4 other tornadoes were spotted, but there is no word of damage. U.S. officials have started negotiations with the Taliban in Afghanistan to try to end the war. Outgoing Defense Secretary Robert Gates says the talks are merely preliminary. He doesn't expect any real progress for months. This comes as the U.S. is set to begin drawing down troop levels next month.
We've all said all along that a political outcome is the way most of these wars end. The question is when and if they're ready to talk seriously about meeting the red lines that President Karzai and that the coalition have laid down, including totally disavowing al-Qaeda.
However, Gates cautioned against withdrawing too many troops too quickly. He says that could undo the gains U.S. forces have made in recent years. To Libya now, and the rebel uprising against Muammar Gaddafi, his regime claiming that NATO targeted a residential neighborhood and killed 9 civilians. NATO investigated and admitted that a stray missile hit a home and killed 5 innocent people, but it says it was targeting a military site when there was a weapon system failure.
This technical failure may have caused a number of civilian casualties. NATO regrets the loss of innocent civilian lives and takes great care in conducting strikes against a regime determined to use violence against its own citizens.
After the strike, a spokesman for Gaddafi called for all Muslims to rise up against jihad, against what he called the criminal West. History is made at this year's U.S. Open with the youngest person taking home the green jacket since 1923. It was all about 22-year-old Rory McIlroy. He broke many records throughout this match and ended up winning yesterday by 8 shots. It's the first major title for the Northern Irishman. Next, remembering an entertainer who rocked the stage with his soulful sounds. Plus, forget the applause. It was all booze for Amy Winehouse during her latest performance. And for the ladies who like pampering, which city a man will spend the most on for a first date? That's coming up on INN. We want to remind you INN News is on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter at INN News Network. And we're on YouTube. All of this reaching out to you so you can reach out to us. INN News will be right back.
In this box is what I need to control my diabetes, to stay healthy, and get on with my life. It comes from Liberty Medical. And now, it's not only where I get my diabetes testing supplies, but it's where I get my prescription drugs as well. See, if you're on Medicare, the cost of your diabetes testing supplies, as well as your prescription drugs, may be covered. Liberty takes care of all the paperwork with Medicare and sends the prescription forms directly to your doctor for approval. Then on your schedule, packs up this box and sends it right to your door with no charge for shipping.
Liberty assures you have what you need to manage your diabetes, and that starts with a free meter. Call today and get a free meter. Plus, when you join, you'll also get a free cookbook.
Call Liberty. They can help you live a better life.
Call 1-800-503-6627. 1-800-503-6627.
Car owners, does your vehicle have less than 120,000 miles on it? Is it less than 10 years old? Is your current auto warranty about to expire? Well, Cover America Auto Care has a very special offer just for you. With current economic conditions causing bankruptcies and a downturn in new car sales, Cover America Auto Care now offers inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage direct to the public. You can save thousands of dollars on auto repairs. A toll-free line has been made available so car owners can call and get a free no-obligation quote. This auto protection is backed by an A-rated insurance carrier. Plus, you get a claims department that has an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. 24-hour emergency roadside assistance is also included. You will be amazed at how much you can save on future car repair bills. So call for your free, no-obligation quote now. Do not wait. Get covered today and rest easy tonight.
Good evening, I'm INN meteorologist Ed Russo. A very large storm system organizing itself east of the Rocky Mountains here. You can see that counterclockwise spin. That's putting Kansas and Nebraska under a very good risk for severe thunderstorm activity to develop later this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm watch already in effect for western Kansas and a PDS tornado watch in effect for central Nebraska and north central Kansas. A PDS tornado watch is a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, which the Storm Prediction Center does not issue very often, which means destructive tornadoes are possible, especially running from central Nebraska southward into north central Kansas, and we may see more of those types of watches issued further east as we have more supercellular development across this region this afternoon and certainly into the evening hours. So one very significant day where we could have some potentially strong to violent tornadoes breaking out all the way from South Dakota into Nebraska, Kansas, and even north central Oklahoma as well. And then all of these thunderstorms will evolve into a large damaging wind threat, especially for western Iowa and northwestern Missouri, and still some tornadoes will be possible deep into the evening hours across those areas. Tomorrow, the severe weather risk shifts to the mid-Mississippi Valley eastward, even through Pennsylvania and Maryland tomorrow. And then also, once again, we're going to see that severe weather risk from the Ohio Valley to the Mid-Atlantic, back westward through the lower Great Lakes, including the lower peninsula of Michigan and eastern Wisconsin. To the north, across the Dakotas, we're not seeing too much thunderstorm activity, just a general rain for central South Dakota. It's southeastern South Dakota that could get on some of that severe weather action, especially later this evening. And then further east, we've seen a strong cluster of showers and thunderstorms move across eastern Iowa, and now just general rain moving across eastern Kentucky into Charleston, West Virginia, and some heavier rain just offshore of the Delmarva and New Jersey coastline. The other threat, not just the severe weather, but the flash flooding, very heavy rainfall falling from these thunderstorms. That flash flood watch is in effect for parts of eastern Colorado up through Nebraska, South Dakota, and we have more flood watches in place for North Dakota into west central Minnesota. We don't have any rain where we need it, though, across Arizona, where monsoon season has actually started, but we're still not seeing rain. We're seeing very, very gusty southwest winds, and that's also creating problems with the wildfires that are already occurring. Unfortunately, some of those wildfires are moving towards populated areas, news we do not want to hear. Hopefully monsoon season kicks in very quickly down there. Northwest is also dry, not really dealing with the drought here, but significant warm-up, especially from last week, where we actually have the lower 90s as far as temperatures are concerned across parts of southern Oregon. Here's where the rain is the heaviest, across the Central Plains up through the Dakotas and also the Ohio Valley as well. And we could see 3 to 4 inch amounts, and all of that rain is going right into the Missouri River. So more high water over that area for the next several weeks. Highs tomorrow will be in the hundreds across the southwest, really warming up, finally warming up across the northwest. And we're going to see some 80s and 90s across the south. Mike?
A somber milestone in Japan this weekend. Saturday marked 100 days since the massive earthquake and tsunami hit the northeastern part of the country. Many held memorial services. There were at least 28,000 people dead or missing. Meanwhile, crews are struggling to contain radiation at the Fukushima nuclear plant. It was badly damaged in that disaster. Time for Global News Now. Several eruptions from Chilean volcanoes are putting a damper on the ski season in Argentina. This slope is covered with a thick coat of ash. Airports have closed down due to ash disrupting air traffic control, delaying flights as far as Australia. Brazilian police and army officials have invaded another slum near the site of the 2014 World Cup. Hundreds of police officers and troops walked the areas near the football stadium in Rio de Janeiro with guns drawn, while helicopters backed them in the skies. Armored vehicles provided extra protection on the streets. Drug trafficking gangs have lived in these parts for a while, but security forces are taking over shantytowns. Amy Winehouse gets booed in Belgrade. The 5-time Grammy winner kicked off her 12-date tour in Serbia. But in a train wreck of a performance Saturday night, she staggered around stage and stumbled through several songs. The audience eventually chased Winehouse off the stage with loud boos. The 27-year-old has publicly battled her drug and alcohol addiction for years. The show must go on. She will perform the second leg of her 12-step tour tonight. And that's your Global News Now. Well, one man who's never been booed off the stage, legendary rock saxophonist Clarence Clemons. Sadly, he died over the weekend. He passed away after suffering complications from a stroke. He was 69 years old. Clemons died at a hospital in Palm Beach, Florida, surrounded by loved ones. He played sax in Springsteen's E Street Band off and on since 1972. Well, in your health, high school students are drinking less soda. That's according to a new report. In 2009, 29% said they drank at least 1 can a day. In 2010, that dropped to 24%. Officials say that's a sign nutritional awareness among teens is increasing. Sugary drinks have long been associated with America's high childhood obesity rate. Fewer Americans are dying from cancer. That's according to a new report from the American Cancer Society. Cancer death rates have been dropping since the early 90s, and the report says they're continuing to fall among males and females in almost all racial and ethnic groups. Since 1990, cancer death rates for men decreased by 22.2%. For women, nearly 14%. Regardless, cancer remains the second leading cause of death in the U.S. Heart disease, by the way, is number 1. Next prom season is over, but it never happened for a lot of kids. The growing cost of this old tradition, plus pulling out all the stops for a first date, where men spend the most to impress the ladies. And Lady Gaga's carnivorous creation is now on display, where you can see the meat dress coming up on INN.
If you're in debt to the IRS for $10,000 or more, you don't have to take desperate measures to settle your account. All you have to do is put the right people to work for you. And that's as simple as calling this number. You'll speak to a tax expert who can help you negotiate a settlement that's significantly less than the actual amount you owe. Many are former IRS agents who have inside knowledge that you can't get elsewhere. And that can make all the difference in the world.
They saved my business.
I owed $30,000 and paid a fraction of it.
The threatening letter stopped immediately.
I got great advice, and they did all the work.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, you owe it to yourself and your family to call this number and get your case settled for less. Now, you only have a small window of time to settle, so act now.
For a free tax analysis, call 800-903-7750. There is no obligation. Call 800-903-7750 now.
This is what evil looks like up close. It's The Nazis, a warning from history on DVD. The shocking filmed record of a world gone mad. From deep within secret German archives comes footage so unnerving, it still can't be shown on television. If you believe we can learn from the past, this is one collection you absolutely must own. Get it now on 4 DVDs for just $59.99. But wait, call with your credit card and you'll pay only $39.99. It's so important you see this. We'll pay your shipping. That's an additional savings of nearly $7. Look into the face of evil. Try not to blink. Call now to get The Nazis, a warning from history on 4 DVDs for just $39.99. We'll ship it for free.
Call 1-800-214-3086 to order Nazis, a warning from history for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card or order online at timelife.com/Nazi.
Wells Fargo says it won't be offering any more reverse mortgages. The government-backed program has become a lifeline for many senior citizens. It's a loan that lets homeowners over the age of 62 convert part of their home equity into cash. Wells Fargo says with a shaky housing market, there's some doubt seniors will be able to fulfill their end of the bargain. The bank says it will follow through, though, with its existing reverse mortgage loans. Things are returning to normal for Toyota and why many teens are skipping the prom. Jenny Wurzberger gets back to business.
Have you Googled yourself and been surprised at what came up? With social media growing in popularity, it's becoming easier and easier to publish information about yourself online or to have information published by others about you. Google's helping you manage the use of you on the internet with its tool called Me on the Web. All you need is a Google profile to activate the privacy monitoring service. Toyota says it's returning to full production in September. That's faster than expected and just 6 months after the deadly disaster in Japan. Toyota says the earthquake and tsunami cost it 670,000 vehicles. The high school prom cost the average family $807. That covers juniors' limo, tickets, tux or dress, and other expenses. Visa says nearly a quarter of teens didn't go to prom because they couldn't afford it. For Back to Business, I'm Jenny Wurzberger.
Well, how much is appropriate to spend on a first date? According to the dating website What'sYourPrice.com, nobody spends more on a first date than bachelors in Denver. Men in the Mile High City spend an average of $221 on a first date. The study says Denver has a healthy local economy and a relatively low number of available single women. Experts think it's a good idea to pull out all the stops on a second date.
We think that's the time that you really, pull out all the stops and show the lady a really great time.
I don't have $221 to throw at a girl.
You remember how much you spent on your guys' first date?
Probably $400 or $500 the first weekend.
Wow. No wonder you're still holding hands.
Reich also says on her professional dating website, clients typically split the bill on a first date. Well, rock band U2 tops Forbes' annual list of the world's highest paid musicians. Forbes says the group earned $195 million from May 2010 to May 2011. Bon Jovi took home $125 million to claim the number 2 spot. Elton John ranked 3rd with $100 million. Lady Gaga and Michael Bublé rounded out the top 5. Lady Gaga's infamous meat dress is on display at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. It's part of the Women Who Rock exhibit that opened last week. The singer wore the dress to the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards and caused quite a stir. PETA blasted it, but Time magazine called it the best fashion statement of the year. The dress has been preserved in a meat locker, then prepared by a taxidermist before going on display. Workers at a hall will keep a close eye on it so it doesn't deteriorate. Also in Cleveland, the stars of the hit TV land show Hot in Cleveland received an honor that probably felt as good as high ratings. The mayor gave them keys to the city. Thousands turned out to the ceremony, many of them with signs declaring their love for the stars of the show, including Betty White. Hot in Cleveland is about 3 Los Angeles women who moved to the city when they realized the men appreciate them there. White plays the cantankerous caretaker of the home they rent. Next, one couple that's practicing clean politics. How they're doing that despite running against each other. Plus, ever just want to get away? How one family did it, not just for a week or two, but a whole year. The purpose behind their trip coming up on INN.
Stay tuned for an exciting money-making opportunity from SMC. Would you like to make more money, set your own hours, and spend more time with your family? Well, now you can with SMC.
I'm an SMC player. I'm going to tell you what, it's an opportunity for anybody to get in and have a home-based business and be successful.
Mothers around the world should do this, yes. And they can stay home with their kids.
I don't have to be bothered with the hectic day-to-day working for someone else. I'm working for myself.
I just wish now I'd have done this 10 or 15 years ago. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
SMC supports its members with a huge warehouse stocked with thousands of products that you can sell for profits of up to 300% and more. Call right now to request your free information packet. And remember to ask your operator how you can jumpstart your business with $100 worth of free SMC merchandise.
Just pick up the phone and call this toll-free number now. Remember, you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Bishop Walter Hawkins made love come alive with timeless gospel classics. Now Love Alive is back and sounding better than ever. Presenting the Love Alive collection. Love Alive 1, Love Alive 2, and Love Alive 3, all for just $24.99. But wait, order in the next 10 minutes with your credit card, and we'll cut the price to just $14.99. Then preview other great gospel collections. Satisfaction guaranteed. So don't wait. Get the Love Alive collection. 3 classic CDs for just $14.99.
Call 1-800-443-1356 to order the Love Alive collection on 3 CDs for just $14.99 plus shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card. Call now.
There's one political family in Washington state that's probably having some interesting dinner conversations. Nancy Truitt Pierce and Joel Selling are both running in the race for Monroe School Board Director for District Number 2. The duo are hoping to oust the incumbent, but they have to get past the primary first. The two with the most votes will move on to the general election, which means there's a chance they could be up against each other.
I would be so excited if that happened because I think it's an opportunity to demonstrate that politics can be different.
They say they're rooting for each other no matter how tense things may get in the race, and both say they've raised 2 kids, so dealing with this potential stress is nothing. Most families go on vacation for a week or 2, but one family is taking a year off to see all 50 states. The Belcher family is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Parents John and Kathy wanted to escape the busyness of life and get the children away from the television and video games. The family says they head home with both a new appreciation for the country and each other.
It was way better than what we expected.
They get fun to play with once you're with them a long time, but then sometimes they're like, it's time to go back and get rid of them.
Getting out, having them being outside, playing with sticks and rocks and just all the natural nature, being in nature is one of the best parts of this trip.
The children were homeschooled during the year-long vacation. Rising fuel prices are something that Americans have come to live with. Prices at the pump are currently running about $1 over what they were at this time last year. 16 North American schools have spent the last 3 years working to redesign a car to get better fuel mileage and have less emissions as part of the Eco Car Challenge. For organizers and students, the competition gives light to what kinds of cars we may be able to find in our dealers' showrooms in the not-too-distant future.
Well, in the EcoCar Challenge, we're looking for acceleration and braking and stability under high-G maneuvers, fuel economy, tailpipe emissions, but also the fact that the vehicle has to be beautiful and compelling and appealing to consumers.
As far as we can see in our simulations, we've taken a vehicle that's getting somewhere around 20 miles per gallon and pushed it up close to 40. It's worth noting that this is not just a small car like a Prius. This is a pretty large SUV, something you can take your family to a soccer game or take out camping or out to the grocery store.
If you want to know how the competition turned out, visit ecocarchallenge.org to see the big winner. Well, who says cows are not smart? Next, meet one very crafty cow that's now an internet sensation. What it learned how to do. Next on INN.
It was the hippest trip in America. The music, the styles, and the stars. It was Soul Train. And now, for the first time ever, Time Life presents the Best of Soul Train on 3 DVDs for just $39.99. And if you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card, Time Life will pay your shipping and handling. What they do? You'll get 50 guest performances and over 8 hours of the greatest entertainment. You'll get all the great dancing, the cool fashions, the great music, fabulous guest performances, and a priceless set of memories. You'll once again be line dancing to some of the greatest soul music and artists of all time. Now you can own the Best of Soul Train on 3 DVDs for just $39.99. This collection is very special.
As an added bonus, get a free Soul Train ringtone with your order. Call 1-800-716-8618 to order Soul Train and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
Experience Bare Minerals, the foundation that started the makeup revolution. Are you ready for flawless coverage and makeup that is actually good for your skin? Now you can get our new kit for over 75% off what you'd pay at retail. Our exclusive introductory Get Started kit includes the award-winning Bare Minerals Foundation. You'll also receive warmth for a healthy glow, Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Professional Flawless Application Brush. Call now and receive our new bonus collection worth $57.95 free, including the highly anticipated Flawless Definition Mascara. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But for a limited time, you get all this, including the bonus gifts, for only 1 payment of $29.99. You save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
To save over 75%, order now by calling 1-800-200-8130 and ask how you can receive this free handy compact with brush with your order.
A farm animal from Ireland is now famous after her remarkable gift was caught on camera. Farmer Tom Grant says he had surveillance cameras installed after his cattle kept showing up outside his stable gates. That's when he discovered Daisy the cow opening the bolts on the gates with her tongue. She would then lead the rest of the cattle herd to freedom. Grant says when he installed the cameras, he never expected to see anything like this.
I was amazed. I never saw anything like it before. And I thought maybe here's a cow with unusual intelligence.
Daisy the cow's antics have since become an internet sensation. I'm Mike Mickle. From all of us here at INN, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.